Hey there, everyone. It's Howard the Workout Man. And today I'm going to have some fun. I am going to talk about the differences between the various good lives downtown. So I always say, oddly, I have been to almost every gym in the GTA, including all of the good lives. And I have been there many times. I even split up my workouts at different good lives based on which good life has which equipment. So I bet I know more than David Patchell Evans about what's in each good life. I even know which good lives have paper towels in the bathrooms and which don't, because when I go to wash my hands, I'll take paper towels with me from outside the bathroom when I need to. Anyways, it's a fun video for me to make. David Patchell Evans, I hope that you're watching because you might learn something. So here we go. So first, Good Life is not the only membership that I have. I'm weird like that. Um, I've got a couple memberships around the city, and I have consistent workouts at different gyms. By the way, I've got a little cold. If I sound funny, sorry about that. So, let me talk about the good lives that are closest to me first. Actually, let me not. I'm going to talk about the good lives by demographic, and then I'm going to speak by equipment. So, by demographic, there is a big difference from where certain good lives were years ago and where they are now. I don't know why that is. I guess people move, they move to different areas, and the gyms totally changed. When the Good Life on Bathurst in Richmond first opened, it was hardcore. There were tons of serious people about working out, and it was fun to be there. You know, Funny enough, I remember a couple days in particular where there were a bunch of hardcore women. When I say hardcore women, like bodybuilding women that were clearly not natural. A couple of them that were bigger than I am, and this went on for a little while where I'd see this patch of hardcore women. They're all gone. They don't train there anymore. As a matter of fact, almost nobody serious trains at Bathurst in Richmond anymore. No offense to anybody, I kind of hate the demographic whenever I'm there. Um, so it used to be one of my favorites. It's I sort of dread going there now. Bathurst and Richmond also. I don't like the equipment as much as the Good Lives that used to be Extremes. In particular, I don't like their hamstring curl. I think it's hoist. I don't like their leg extension. I think it's also hoist. They don't have enough squat racks. So it used to be one of my favorites. It's now one of the lowest on my list of good lives. Next good life that I'll talk about, I will talk about Peter and Richmond. I remember when Peter and Richmond opened, they didn't have a tricep bar, and I actually brought a tricep bar myself. I went to Fitness Depot, bought just one of the curved bars, they didn't have any, and left it at the gym. I also remember they had very pretty girls promoting the gym in front, and it was very exciting. It was an exciting gym. It was big. It was new. They had a juice bar. Anyways, Good Life bought Extreme, and they kept all the same equipment. So they do have heavier dumbbells than the Good Lives because Extreme had heavier dumbbells. So I like that. They go up to 135s. They're missing some back equipment. They don't have a padded row for some strange reason. But what I love at Peter and Richmond, it still has a hardcore demographic. I don't know why. It kept a bunch of power lifters. If you go there in the evening, the squat racks are very busy, but I like the atmosphere. People are pushing, and you can feel that. I would say it's the hardest core of all of the good lives in the downtown core, and I do like being there. So I will say that the ambiance is fantastic. The equipment is among the lower end, but that's okay. I think the ambiance makes up a lot um, of it. Okay, good life at Union. So I now live closer to Union. Um, Equipment is okay, similar to Peter and Richmond, but they don't have heavier dumbbells. It's the life fitness stuff, just like Peter and Richmond. So they have good hamstring curl. They have the proper leg extension. They have a shortage of power racks. They only have, I think they have three. It's very much catering to the financial district. And I like the demographic again. It gets quite hardcore, not as hardcore as Peter and Richmond, but almost as hardcore. So, meaning that there's a lot of serious lifters in the evening. It's kind of enjoyable to be there. So, I do like it. and the equipment is actually slightly better than Peter and Richmond. So a lot of good things to say about Union. I like it. I like it fine. It's kind of nice to be there, and it's connected to the path. If you care about that, if you happen to work connected to the path, so I like it. Let me go to Liberty Village next. Liberty Village has actually improved their equipment. I used to hate it. The dumbbells used to only go up to 75 pounds. That used to thoroughly annoy me. Not that I'm doing, um, you know, incline presses with 150 pounds or anything, but I do shrugs with dumbbells. I also do deadlifts with dumbbells sometimes, and I hated that. I also hated the majority of their equipment. I used to complain whenever I'd go there, but they've improved a bit. Um, I would say that their equipment is very comparable now to Union Good Life. The demographic is okay. It's not as um, hardcore as Union, definitely not as Peter and Richmond, but not as bad as Bathurst and Richmond. So you've got that Liberty Village vibe a bit. So a lot of young people, but most of the hardcore Liberty Village workout people have left and gone to Altea, frankly. Um, so I do like the equipment. I do like being there for a couple reasons. Oh, I didn't mention parking. There's free parking in Liberty. There's free parking at Bathurst and Richmond. Only if you go in the evenings or on the weekends. And then Peter and Richmond, same thing. I think it's $1.50 actually in the evenings and weekends, but you get a discount. There's a car wash in the parking lot underneath Liberty Village. I like that I can get my car washed while I work out. Same thing at Peter and Richmond. These are minor Howard things, but um, they're efficient. Anyways, I don't mind being in Liberty Village. It's got a slightly more alive vibe than the other gyms because of being in Liberty Village, where it's kind of alive. Okay, surprisingly, I trained consistently at 8 Park Road at one point. So I'm going to say nothing about the demographic at 8 Park Road. Um, it's not hardcore, I'll say that. One thing about 8 Park Road, they have brand new hammer strength, and they barely get used. So actually, the equipment is great. The layout is just on 4 floors. The demographic is not very inspirational at all. I did like the equipment. I enjoyed. They have a brand new hammer strength shoulder press. They've got a brand new hammer strength flat press, a brand new hammer strength upper row and lower row. So a lot to be said about the equipment there. If you can just kind of focus on yourself and ignore the actual workout vibe, 8 Park Road is a very good gym for equipment. They also have older equipment on the middle floor. It's got really a plethora of different equipment. It's connected to the subway line from underground. So I like it. I don't love the vibe, but I like the gym a lot. It actually has better equipment than all the other Good Lives that I mentioned by quite a bit. I happen to be a hammer strength equipment fan. I always have been. So maybe I'm a bit biased that way. They also have a tricep bar. They don't have it any other Good Life, so I love it. So for equipment, it gets a 10. For vibe, it gets a 3. Unfortunately, maybe I'll rate all the other gyms after as well on those 2 criteria. Then Yorkville. Yorkville also has great equipment. They have old plated hammer strength. By the way, 8 Park Road, the new equipment is plated hammer strength, which is hard to find. So I love that equipment at Yorkville. They've got a plated shoulder press, incline press, flat press. They have an incline press. 8 Park Road doesn't. They've got a lower row, upper row. They have great hammer strength equipment, and they have heavier dumbbells because they used to be a Bally's. Which, by the way, I opened Yorkville as a trainer, and I opened the Eaton Center Bally's when I was a trainer, which I'm not anymore, and the Eaton Center closed down. But Good Life Yorkville has great equipment. Honestly, they're just missing a cable crossover. So I rate their equipment almost a 10. But the demographic also is very uninspirational. It is very much a woke demographic, I'm going to call it. And I sort of have to just turn a blind eye to whatever is around me and use myself to be inspired when I'm there. That's just the truth. I guess I like to tell it like it is. But the equipment is very, very close to a 10. So why don't I just go backwards and rate everything again from my own perspective, keeping in mind that I'm into bodybuilding, I'm into fitness, and I'm even kind of into I'm going to say I'm into power building. I like to try and get stronger all the time, and those are the things that that drive me in terms of atmosphere and equipment. Okay, so I'm going to say that Peter and Richmond, in terms of atmosphere, I'm going to give it a 9. In terms of equipment, I'm going to give it a 5. Union, in terms of equipment, I'm going to give it a 6.5. And in terms of vibe, I'm going to give it an 8.5. Liberty Village, in terms of vibe, I'm going to give it an 8. And in terms of equipment, I'm going to give it a 5.5. Bathurst and Richmond, in terms of equipment, sorry, Bathurst and Richmond, I'm going to give it a 2. And in terms of atmosphere, I'm going to give it a 2. Sorry, again. 8 Park Road, atmosphere, I'm going to give it a 1. And equipment, I'm going to give it a 9. Yorkville, equipment, I'm going to give it also a 9. And actually a 9.5. And atmosphere, I'm also going to give it a 1.5. That does it. Like I said, I've been to every Good Life in the city. Honestly, I've been to Good Lives out of the city too. Why don't I throw some stuff in? I've been to the Good Life in Burlington on a bunch of occasions, and it has incredible equipment. I mean, incredible. They used to have a Ninja Warrior circuit. That was 2 years ago. They probably still do. I'm going to give that equipment also a 9, but it's much less motivating in the suburbs. You don't really get a lot of intensive training people. I'm going to give the atmosphere a 7. Um, there's a Good Life I'm going to say it's at Finch and Shepherd. Do they even intersect Finch and Shepherd? They have all the equipment, all. So the equipment gets a 10, all the hammer strength, all the dumbbells. Vibe gets a 3. Um, I'm not going to start going into Mississauga and Etobicoke, but I've been there too. Have a great day. Have a great workout. Cheers. Howard the Condo Man.